Hi, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarborough here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I'm going to do a reading on India. This morning, I did a reading on China and Hong Kong, and I did a reading on Russia and North Korea. Russia and North Korea. Today is the 27th of March. It's a Friday. And I live in Massachusetts, and they just announced that they're pretty much shutting down the state. They're telling people that if they do come to the state, they have to put themselves in a 14-day quarantine. And they're just really asking them not to come, everybody to sort of stay in place. So things are getting more serious. They're really, we're a little behind the curve. Like, it's not like New York, so. And I know that the hospitals are gearing up. We have a lot of really good hospitals here, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be able to handle this. And we have the same problems as all the other cities have. The federal government isn't giving us what we need. Okay. All right. India. A very interesting country. All right. So we start here with the Two of Pentacles. This is it's a balancing act right now. They're trying to keep their financial balance. They're trying to keep their financial balance. Let's see what's crossing that. The Knight of Wands. Yeah. So, yeah, this night. It's interesting. This night, it looks like there's, I think this is actually the virus. The virus coming on the pale horse, as it were. And coming in fast. Coming in fast. Yep. So they're trying to hold their balance, but and there's flames in this, and so there's like generally the wands are not as chaotic, but in this deck we have the it looks like the horse just like jumped over a chasm, but this definitely looks like chaos is coming for India. What's at the root? Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles here. This is interesting. And it's interesting because she's got little monkeys. She almost looks like she could be Indian. There's an elephant in the background. Yeah, this actually has a very Indian vibe to it. So I feel like that the country itself is such an ancient civilization and has been through so many trials and tribulations over its existence. I mean, it's really, really old. And so I don't want to say this is just another, thing that's going to happen to India. But there's at the root of India is a real connection. And, they do have goddesses there. They do celebrate the goddess there. And this is very much somebody who is very connected to the earth. There's all these vines, and there's a beautiful waterfall in the back. I don't know if you can see that. What a beautiful card. And then behind her, her throne is dark, black sort of. And that's like, that's symbolic to me of manifestation out of the void. Manifestation out of the void. So there's a quality about the country that no matter what happens, they sustain, they continue, they sustain. Let's see what's in the past. So in the past, we have the death card. That's interesting. And I think that indicates just what I said, that there is just, it's such an old culture. There's been so many uh, iterations of death. Death comes in so many ways. And they do have that, realization of reincarnation, and all of that. So um, they know that they'll have another opportunity. They'll have another opportunity. Yeah. That's in the past. What's in the sky? Okay. Yeah, so we have the devil in the sky. Okay. This can be fear. The devil can be fear, so there's a lot of fear. The devil can also be licentiousness, greed, uh, being trapped by the physical plane. Um, yeah, subjugation. Subjugation, it says here. It's interesting because I was watching on Democracy Now, I was watching what the police were doing. They were like whipping people and making them do calisthenics and push ups and just this weird stuff, Like, I have the power now. I was given the power and I'm going to do all this weird stuff because you can't fight me because I have the power. Like that kind of. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of oppression. There's going to be a lot of oppression with this. Um, for the people, unfortunately. I think there could be martial law for these people. Okay, let's see what's in the future. Okay, we have the Two of Swords here. Um, this is interesting because this person is standing on a log in the water, holding the swords by the blades and trying to stay balanced. So I feel like this is a precarious situation they find themselves in. I feel like the Two of Swords has this energy of delay around it, and I think the delay of them like actually putting people to stay at home um, is gonna not work in their favor. And it's interesting because there's all these boats in the background. There's a like a battleship from World War II. There's like a ship like the Spanish Armada ship, and then there's a Viking. There's a Viking boat there. See that? Um, and I also believe, with all that, all those different boats in the background that sort of are indicative of um, the different time frames, the centuries of this. Um, in a way, India remains standing, even though it stands in a precarious place. So I feel like um, they will make it through this, like they've made through many things, um, and they'll still be around. Although I still don't think they're going to be in necessarily in a stable position. Okay, let's see how it's seen from the outside. Okay, we have the Nine of Wands. This is sort of it's interesting that this guy is on the floor. Let me just see what this looks like. Okay, so this guy is sleeping, and this up here is actually his spirit that has the wands and is holding the wands. This is like oh, what's that called? Astral travel. This is an astral travel card. Never really noticed that before. Um, um, I think that India is seen as a country that has such a deep connection to spirit, um, in whatever spiritual. There's a devotion here. There's a devotion and kind of a mystical understanding of things that other cultures don't have. This card is called Intensity. And so we see India as an intense place. I think it's the Bhagavad Gita, and excuse me because I don't really actually know what I'm talking about. I haven't read it, and I don't know that much about India, but I do know that I think it's in the Bhagavad Gita where they talk about like nuclear bombs and stuff. So and like the Blue Star people. So, we're talking about a very, very ancient culture. And it's like there's a magic to the country that belies the poverty, it belies the just the insanity of a place like India. Um, but they're very connected. They're very connected. Domestic situation. Okay. We have the universe card here. The universe is about endings and beginnings. Um, consecration. It's called consecration. I feel like the world will be watching India. We're going to be like, that's what it feels like to me. And they are, it's funny, in the sky here we have Saturn and we have the moon. Um, this path, the universe path on the Tree of Life, is associated with Saturn. And so there's going to be restrictions. Saturn is the Lord of Karma. Yeah. Okay. Hopes and fears. A Seven of Cups. This is called delusion. Delusion. They just want it, like most people, they just want it to go away, but that's not the way it works, I don't think. Um, there may be people who are in denial about the severity of this, the outcome. Oh, the Emperor. The Emperor. Um, I think on the other side of this, believe it or not, I think they're going to come out stronger on the other side of this, interestingly enough. Um, how the person in charge deals with the situation will come back on him. You see, that guy is throwing a boomerang. So there's this sense of things coming back to you. Things coming back to you. So it depends on how he deals with it as to whether this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing for him. If he does a good job or the best job that he can, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be seen as good. But if he does what Trump's doing in our country, which he wouldn't. I mean, he's not gonna do that. But if he's that anyway, you know what I mean. All right, let's see what's underneath it all here. All right, we got the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. Authority. Yeah, I feel like there's a real I think the virus is going to do a job on people. And not only that kind of makes sense because there's just so many people in India and it's not a highly sanitized place, right? Um but I feel like there may be um I almost feel like that there's a dictatorship, like I feel dictatorship with this. I feel oppression with this. I feel maybe this is an opportunity to come down hard on people that the guy in charge, Modi, maybe wanted to do it anyway. I think he he sort of errs on the side of this weird sort of whipping people. Uh, yeah, I think he's going to try to concentrate his power through this. But that being said, at the very, very root of everything here is the Queen of Pentacles. And so while he does do that, I don't feel like it's going to be something that is for good. Do you know what I mean? It's just another cycle, maybe a contraction cycle for India, because they've sort of been expanding for a while. All right. Well, harsh lessons. Harsh lessons. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in India. Not with Modi in charge. Mm-mm. I think he's going to use this to maybe further oppress the people that he was already oppressing. Um, I don't know. All right, that's what that looked like. Let's do a quick one on Iran. These are good cards for Iran too. So Iran has really been suffering. Part of the reason it's so bad in Iran was that there was some religious. I guess where it started in Iran, there was some sort of religious place where they would kiss a stone, like as part of the devotion, kind of like kissing the Blarney Stone, I guess, but it was the Blarney Stone, and that's how it sort of spread. And then because they're under such strict sanctions, they don't have the resources, and that's on us. That's on us. Um, we can take partial responsibility for how many people died in Iran. And this, like, on the heels of losing that general that they all loved, must feel like a real wounding for them. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at Iran. Iran, day. Oh, sorry. All right. I've always been intrigued by Iran. I think Persians are so beautiful. They're so beautiful. The women are just stunning, and the men are quite handsome. All right, let's see here. Yeah, okay, we have the Ten of Swords here. So this is bad stuff. This is bad stuff, but it is a 10, and it's at the end. It looks like there's a vulture up there and destruction. This has really, really devastated them. It's called destitution. So they are really suffering. Let's see what's crossing them. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like they want to do better, but they just don't have the resources. They just don't have the resources to do it. Just like I said. See what's at the root? The Knight of Pentacles. Wow, this guy almost looks like these are great cards. He's about ready to jump over a chasm. There's a dark cloud behind him. Look at that. Yikes. All right, let's keep going with this. In the past, we have the King of Swords. I think this is the general. I can't remember his name, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I think that's the general. It's called Purification. He was a real sort of a sense of somebody with power, somebody who actually was like somebody to sort of look up to. What's in the sky? Oh, the King of Cups. Okay, King of Cups. Compassionate king. I don't know what the head guy there. Whenever I see him on television, I don't get a bad feeling about him. I actually get a nice feeling about him. Although I know there are a lot of people not very happy with the government there. Okay, so in the immediate future, we have the Seven of Wands. Um, in this deck, the Seven of Wands is fighting things off, right? But having the upper hand, not here. Um, I feel like with this card here, um, there is this. There's an overriding emotion. I feel like the people are just like emotionally like the waters are rising up. And I almost feel like there's somebody who's going to come in who understands how to work with the emotions of the people and knows how to focus it in a way. And I don't think it's necessarily a negative way. I think it could be a healing way, but let's see what else comes up. How it's seen from the outside. Okay, we have the Two of Swords again. Sort of the same idea, very old culture, trying to keep its balance, perhaps in the modern world, sort of always trying to keep its keep its place in the world, but it's not easy. It's dangerous. It's painful. It takes a lot of balance. Domestic situation. Okay, here we go. We have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so it um I don't know if there's other countries helping them or not. I know that Cuba went to Italy and Spain, I believe. Um, a lot of kings here. All right, let's continue. I'm not sure. I think that they've been isolated for so long that um, it gives them a strength that um, maybe other countries don't have. They're very highly educated folk. They just don't have great jobs because of all the sanctions that we put them on. Yeah, that was a real mistake to get out of that nuclear deal. A mistake for us. Okay, their hopes and fears is sort of a new beginning. Maybe I feel like they're working to create almost something out of nothing. But they're very smart people, so if anybody can do it, okay, all right. And we have the Empress. The Empress. So I feel like that perhaps this okay, so at the bottom here we have this Knight of Pentacles jumping off into the abyss. I almost feel like this are the people who are in charge now. The people who are in charge now. And I feel like um there's other energies here coming in, other men of sort of experience and experience with sort of their feeling nature, experience with the physical plane. But ultimately, as like the end card being the Empress, is this energy of the rising up of the goddess. And so it's become less and less, I believe, of a theocracy. Um, because before it wasn't theocratic. They elected a president. There was a democracy. They elected a president, and then we came in and put the Shah in, and then they had the Islamic revolution. And now I feel like that Islamic resolution has revolution has sort of brought them back to where they had been before, but they're not quite there. But I feel like that's where they're going. I feel like they're going back to who they were before we messed with them. And somehow this coronavirus is doing that. And I think part of the issue, and I could be wrong, is this virus is going to weaken the United States. Okay. We're not going to necessarily be making all the rules anymore. So, with that, with our sort of feet off their neck, they have a more of an opportunity to reestablish themselves. And they're certainly resilient enough. Okay. And underneath it all is the moon. Another feminine archetype. Another feminine archetype. Gratification. It's called gratification in this deck. So, there's still going to be ups and downs. There's a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of emotion. But I do think that they're on their way to finding more balance, quite frankly. And I think part of this whole pandemic situation is that anyway. It's to balance us out, it's to balance us out. We have so much, at least in this country, we have so much, and we're so unhappy. Like, really, I mean, and we work so hard, and, it's like, I don't know. It's just, I'm not so sure we live anymore. I think we exist, and we do. And it's about living. And one thing, when you have so little, you learn to live, because what other options do you have? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will do Europe now. I'll do Italy and Spain, I think. Um, and I guess I have to do Australia and New Zealand. And then I should also probably do the United States. I'll see what I have. I'll see how much time I have. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe. I'm gonna do some astrology. I had a I so I'll stop after this. I have a class that I do here every week, and of course now we can't do it in person because the office is too small. If we were 6 feet apart, we'd be out in the parking lot. So can't do that. But I did it on Zoom, and it worked out pretty good. So I'm going to do another one on Zoom with my class. Um, and as soon as because I did it one way, I'm going to do it a little different this coming Tuesday. And if it works out the way I think it's going to work out, I'm going to start setting up classes. So keep your. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. But just wanted to let you know that I haven't forgotten you guys, and you know, now is the time. Take care. See you later. Bye.